What do you mean 3 years later, Rakeen? We were only on hold for 8 minutes while we got everything set up.
I think he means that's how often in rotation the Animexcellence is. Just it's like presidential elections.
We did it last month. This is becoming more and more like part of the rotation here.
I was thrown off when you said, so this week Animexcellence is...
What?
Is the eclipse happening again?
La campana es hora de rezar.
Well, Sammy, unfortunately, might be the victim of the smiley face killer, so he's not going to be here this week, unfortunately.
Nah, he's in New York. You know where he is. He's out. He's out there. He's in the courtroom.
You know, for Sammy being super anti-Texas, I don't think he's ever really mentioned New York.
I think this whole anti-Texas thing is a fraud.
It is.
It's a fraud. Because I keep on saying, hey, man, see that rent you pay? Go find that elsewhere else. Go find that somewhere else. Come back to me.
It's also a matter of, like, anytime you take him to do something Texan, he's like, this is amazing. It's the best thing ever. And it's like, it's just barbecue from Rudy's, bro.
It literally advertises itself as the worst.
You don't have a Renaissance fair that's in town, bitch. Like, come on.
And every time I meet someone from New York, and I'm just like, oh, hey, what's it like? They're just like, They don't have the same gravitas that Sam has.
They have a river. They can go tubing.
How do I describe it? New York people do bump with New York, but it's less like California people bumping with California. Yeah. Like, for me, I'm like, dude, California's cool. But y'all act like, y'all want to talk about Texan pride. Oh, my gosh. Y'all act like it's the golden place. Like, everything just makes sense. I'm like, y'all can't even afford to live in your own state.
I literally, at the business thing I was at last week, was talking to people from North Carolina. They're like, yeah, it's just flooded with Californians now. And I was like, you too?
Kind of like a plague.
I don't even dislike California. It's just like, you know, so one of my homegirls is moving back to California. Like, yeah. And I was like,
well, the rent's finally going down across the country for once.
Except here.
No, because we are at the opposite end of the spectrum. Apparently, Austin and Nashville are the two most popular places to move to. I don't know why Nashville is, but
people really like Nashville right now. But it's cool. I'm fine. Like, I don't dislike California.
Everyone wants an album record.
It's just, I wish, like, and maybe I just need to, like, go spend some time sniffing the air there more. It's cool to visit. It's cool to be there for extended periods of time. The weather's nice. Yes, the weather's cool. But, like, that, like besides that, like, I was in San Francisco, I was like, your bar's closed at like 12. Like, and even before, I'm like, where am I supposed to go out? The other shit's expensive. So, I mean, it's not even like, what up, Rico Hero? Thank you for that extra subscription. Or that, resubscription. I get thrown off because I'm like, and I'm not saying like Austin's all that either. Austin has its own problems.
Yeah, a serial killer.
But I literally, there's one out there right now.
And rainy.
Again?
Avoid rainy.
Damn it.
Just don't go out alone. You're never alone on rainy.
I don't go to rainy like that.
I don't go to rainy like that either.
I don't go to rainy. Even when I was of the age to be like, let's go to rainy, I still was like, let's not go to rainy.
That's the trail between Rainy and Ladyburg Lake or something. That's
where it gets real dark back there. Why the fuck would you walk that by yourself? Stop parking. Take an Uber.
Like, oh my God, is that how he's? That's probably it.
That is 100% how he's doing it. They're like, if because the police say he doesn't exist, but they're also like 8 people drowning in 3 weeks. I don't know about that.
You can't convince me. Like, cause
I forget. Does drinking make you float better or sink? Harder?
Supposedly he's drugging them as well. I don't know. It's all supposed, but like,
right.
A drunk person can die in a bucket of water. Is the
right,
myth.
They drown in their own puke.
Yeah.
So, but it's also the cops, and I shouldn't trust them.
But they're trying to save $70 on the Uber. That's what they're saying. Like, save money on the Uber and then go through that dark alley.
No. My rule of thumb is look, if you're gonna go drink, you want to have no worries around you, and if you can't afford to Uber down, trust me, I'm Mr. Budget. Like, sometimes, and sometimes it's not even like a can't afford thing. Sometimes it's just like I'm pretty sure I can keep myself cool enough to drive back. Like, and that's a lot of the time, especially if you live here long enough. Yeah, you just get used to it. But like, I've gotten into just a better habit of being like, man, like, gonna suck up the like. Do I miss out on a couple of drinks if I suck up the cost? Maybe, but also like, am I out that much to where it's gonna be a big hit? No. So I'll take the Uber hit and also feel good about it because then I'm like, cool. I know I'm making it there and back, and I can be as drunk as I want to be.
Just need to make a friend on Riverside again, whose place I can Uber to.
Or like,
the rent's going down there.
That is exactly what I'm watching every day.
The goddamn Batman. Thank you.
Oh, actually, I haven't even noticed that. Like, where have you been hiding? I was like, I've never seen that name in our chat.
The goddamn Batman only comes out for the Animexcellence.
Maybe just, or maybe they're like, nah, I ain't gonna show him.
He's been subscribed since the last one. Look, 3
months. It says it's drunk dudes, something like 25 to 30 years old, alone on Rainy. Oh gosh, that serial killer's a woman.
I thought that
and
too.
I'm her prime target.
Man, I'm telling you, it just comes out. It's like
it's a girl that dated too many guys from Oracle. That's all it is.
I'll get my revenge on all of them. No, I'll just be like some siren.
Work tastes better.
Dog, that sounds like some siren shit. like it's by the river. Dog. That sounds like some siren.
That's what they're gonna start calling her.
Niggas here singing. Oh, where's she at?
What if?
Like I'm really thinking. I'm like, that's a siren. We call that a siren.
What if to be the most Austin serial killer ever, like she's not actually even doing anything, she's just standing there on a paddleboard?
Swim to me. Swim.
She's just slowly getting Come on, you're almost there.
You're almost there.
I'm so wet.
This water doesn't have the moss in it. Come on. No, I just...
The dog dies halfway there.
Dude, I'm just... honestly, whenever I'm like in a mood to like drink or go out, I've been in a habit of keeping it to my area recently, right? Where we're around. There's enough places to like. If I want to go get a beer, I'm gonna go to one of the breweries. I want to go to a bar. There's a couple of dive bars up here. I haven't made my way downtown in a minute though, so I was kind of intending to maybe sneak down one of these days, but I am someone who's susceptible to siren calls. Be like, baby, I'm sorry.
I was downtown for South by, but even then I was just by casino. Like I actually didn't even go as far as Buckshots, I think is the one that Ray.
Well, I think the thing with the Austin streets are kind of isolated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you're on Rainy, you're pretty much staying on Rainy. Whereas if you're on Dirty, you can kind of sort of convince yourself to be like, maybe I'm not feeling this vibe. I want to walk to the opposite side of 35. Like maybe, but even then, like if you're on the opposite side of 35, you're just there, like on the double east, right? You're on the real true east side of 6. Then if you're on West 6, why? But it's like you have they're kind of secluded. So when you say it's like we don't go to Rainy, it's not because it's not there. It's just like once you're on Rainy, you're like, I'm just here. And a lot of the times I'd prefer to be just here somewhere else. Or at a singular bar.
The vibe at Rainy has also changed a lot. It's very...
It used to be cool.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it now. I don't love it, if that makes sense. It's in a very like transformative phase right now where you're like...
It's becoming condos, yeah.
And they're trying to figure out like they're trying to figure out what the vibe is. To me, okay, look, like so having just come back from New Orleans, I do kind of wish that they had put up a bigger fight to keep Rainy as it was.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think that as I was going across some of the New Orleans streets and whatnot, they do a really good job of like maintaining at least that culture wherever it is. And I think Austin just didn't fight nearly as hard, but also space wise, we are this big. That said, there's just enough places to go. I'm waiting for Cedar Park to have a place. I'm waiting for
Cedar Park does. Red Horn.
What is the fuck is that?
It's a brewery. It's a very good brewery.
It is actually a very good brewery.
It is. I shit you not.
Pretty good sandwiches too.
I almost went there today to fill up my Goku growler just so that I'd have something.
you selfish chat people. You always come in here and ask shit that is not relevant to this show.
It's completely relevant to Thursday show.
Thursday show. You show up then if you want to hear about our thoughts on those trailers. We like they always come through. They be like, "What's your thoughts on this? This is the anime show." They come to the sports show. Hey, let's talk about superheroes. No, keep that shit in its lane.
We can answer DJ Lemon's question because wrestling is just redneck anime.
Yes.
Overall, I thought it was a good show. Night 2 was lacking, but Night 1 was. I mean, it was lacking in the sense that Night 1 was just a better overall show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Night 2 is very weird, and then I've heard everything on Raw was on fire. Like,
it opened good.
Yeah.
YouTube told me, like, oh, no, yeah, look, check it out. Bork and Cody, they're friends now. Look at them hug. Bork's got a hat. Best Bork. And then flash forward to an hour later when they show me, like, the next clips, and it's like, oh yeah, Bork betrayed.
Ooh, wait, Surge the Fourth. Are we talking? I mean, are you a manga reader, or are you talking about anime, kid? Because either way, I got the same answer for you. Like, I can't spoil my non-manga readers. Let's just say I think Captain Kid has always been mid. He's only gotten lower from where he was. Like, you want to talk about characters who I really have never given a fuck about? Like, Oda does a good job of making you like characters. And Kid, I'm just been like, you're all right. Not much more than that. Made me like Law. Made me love Law. Like, made me love all these characters. Man, shoot. Odin showed up for 20 chapters, 20 episodes, and everyone loves Odin. How come I still feel the same shit I feel about Kid, where I'm like, yeah, I mean, you kind of use, I don't like your devil fruit that much, or you don't use it creatively. He gets cooler later. And then in the manga, you realize how trash he is. So, I mean, he belongs in the trash can. No spoilers in the chat, because it is a big moment. But he belongs in the trash can where he is right now. Where is Eustace Kid? Get spoiler alert! I know the spoilers for next chapter because I like to, you know, I like to spoil myself on the chapter. It ain't about kids, so I mean he's still in the dirt. TLDR, better characters in One Piece. Did
you see Hassan?
I do like the situations that they were.
They wrote an article about the Twitch streamer Hassan because he went on a long rant about how One Piece is socialist.
I mean, One Piece was introduced. How do I describe it? One Piece is a lot of things with Oda. Oda was Oda. I think he's always been kind of ahead of his time. Yeah. And Hassan points out quite a few things that were just. I mean, yes. Do I think they handle everything with Okama's great? Not necessarily, but I mean, did he make one of the coolest characters at the time in the show just a trans character? Yeah. And didn't shy away from it. Had this whole island about it. Had this whole chant, and like made him, and didn't make it weird or anything. Just made it part of his thing. Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of things that you can pull from that. And I mean, he's talking about like overcoming governments, a lot of different, how we're kind of going through the wheel of work ethic, a lot of different areas. I mean, Oda really just says a bunch of things. And even claims he's a feminist. So, I mean, he needs to do a little more selling on that one, but he does a lot. But nah, I mean, speaking of manga, I've been reading quite a bit more than I usually have. Not out of any other reason than, I don't know, I kind of got into a little bit of a flow state.
Yeah.
Been in a more anime manga-esque mood. So, been one that kind of brought that I like was like, all right, I finally kind of want to start to chip away at was on Funimation. Y'all, I don't know if y'all ever saw Funimation channel, but it had Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles on there, and needless to say, the opening kind of slapped. So I was like, let me read the manga because it's very different. So I've been kind of journeying through that. I always keep up to date with the main few things like Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, pretty much the shonen like net. I do a pretty good job of keeping up with. Blue Lock I keep up with because
I do need to watch out with like. I don't know exactly how TikTok's space algorithm works because it'll randomly know it's like, oh, you're watching Reservation Dogs. Here's some Native American stuff. You're watching JJK. Here's JJK manga spoilers, and I'm like, I don't need this. This is way too far ahead.
Let me help you out right now. Where JJK at is like what I gotta give props to JJK about is it's like, oh shit, I don't know how our team's gonna win. And about 30 chapters later, it only gets worse. I'm like, this nigga has painted a picture of no hope, zero hope. There's no winning in this situation. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
I've definitely, because the new season's about to start. We're definitely going to cover that when that comes out. But I've definitely heard the sound is like, I hope you're bulletproof because this is really about to hurt a lot mixed with upcoming hype for season 2.
I mean, shit. From here, JJK has some really high highs and not low lows. It's just it has you feeling low. like it is. But it's cool. Like there's a lot of I think
it's kind of funny because when I was watching Demon Slayer season 2, I was watching JJK to feel the demon-sized hole. It's like, oh, well, it's just too happy. Like I miss like feeling bad for demons and the no-win situation, and apparently that's what I'm going to get eventually.
In Demon Slayer?
No, in JJK. I'm saying compared to Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer at the end of it where it's just like, oh, that guy's dead, that guy's under a building, that guy, I'm not spoiling shit, that's already been out for 2 years. And then JJK was just like, oh yeah, like no, they beating everybody without even really struggling.
Yeah. Man, JJK where it's at, it's gonna be like, well, shit, Demon Slayer's word don't seem so bad. It don't seem so bad. Make me a Hashira right quick. I'd rather deal with that shit than some of the shit they got going on. But man, I want to talk about all this anime. Let's rip it up.
All right, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Good evening. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Marco. This is the Animexcellence. And then across from me in the Goku t-shirt, we got...
I'm JJ.
And next to him in the bright red army t-shirt.
It's a sweater. No, I'm kidding. It's TJ. So cut the little edge off the J. That's what you get.
I was about to say, like a sweater. Wasn't it 85 degrees today?
Look, I didn't have no shirts to wear, man. I just came out I went to F45 today, so I don't give a fuck after this.
Well,
I'm on my health shit again. I got them pity points.
After not being able to fully stay at my house for 3 weeks between South by, a work conference, and then another conference, I'm so off rhythm right now. Now I went today. I took like this weekend to just kind of enjoy WrestleMania, and I went and bought groceries today, and I'm back on it. Like I'm starting all over again. Well, not all over, but still.
No, it's just about like when you like. I usually say a week off the bike is not that bad, but any longer than a week, man, it's tough. I feel you.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, man, because you remember burgers taste real good.
Yeah. So meal prep is my big thing, where it's like if I don't buy groceries, I'm fucked. Like that week is fucked. I'm just gonna gain 5 pounds.
You know what I started to do? Because meal prep services are fucking expensive shit, right? But there's
Did you just subscribe to a different one every month?
No, there's an app called Too Good to Go. And what they do is spend $50, went to Snap Kitchen, and they take all and the reason I spent $50 was because I order basically like 6 orders of Too Good to Go. It's about $8, and they give you, want to say like I got like maybe 15 prepared meals. that they were all gonna throw, like that are all like were Best Buy of the day of. That's what the Too Good to Go is for, right? It's for any of the excess, and then you just freeze that shit. And then I was like, cool, I'm good for 15 meals, just in case. So like a whole week. Kind of like been helping out. You don't have to go, like you can be like, hey, maybe I need a couple days just as a backup plan. Because meal prep sucks.
It's not great.
Because I like my food, like I like to cook. I like food fresh. I like all that. Man, sometimes you'd be like.
With me, it's the cleanup because now I have a much smaller kitchen. So before it'd be like, oh yeah, this pan's dirty, but like it neatly stacks into my big ass sink, and it's fine. Now my sink fits like my cereal bowl, and that's it. So it's just a pain in the ass to clean everything after I cook. So I don't want to go back to cooking. And then it's a vicious cycle because it's like, oh, well, I actually want to cook today, but all my shit's dirty. Whataburger's right there.
See, oh man, you live close to the Whataburger too. Like that would kill me because I'll tear up some Whataburger. But nah, that's like when I apartment shop. I always say my biggest breaking point is their kitchen because I just like fucking y'all see my kitchen, like mine takes
Your
half
kitchen
my
is
part.
huge, yeah.
Because I'm like I don't try to fuck with this because I have so many appliances. And it's still not enough. I need a bigger kitchen. I want an industrial sized kitchen. That's what I want. I want that fucking Food Network shit.
You need to buy like a Pizza Hut that closed down and then just use the whole kitchen.
Literally. And just be in the back, be like, man, why are you making pizzas? Because I got the space, bitch. But nah, shit, we're talking about healthy and being responsible. That's not what anime's about.
Well, we can talk. Our first topic isn't exactly anime because it's no longer just anime. It's anime/video games.
Yeah.
But was
Animexcellence.
Well, it was my way to get Sam involved in this once in a while. Like I'm sure he'll be here whenever Street Fighter 6 drops.
Yeah, sure. It's like, you ain't gonna catch me. You ain't gonna catch me slipping.
He's been on here to talk about the Street Fighter characters. It's like, oh look, there's a Mexican.
He likes Street Fighter.
He does.
He reps
He's
it high.
never brought this up, like ever.
Didn't even know he played the game.
Well, I don't know about that one. But on the note of games and everything, and
let's knock out all our gaming stuff.
E3 is officially canceled.
No.
So I'm someone who genuinely has that opinion. Look, a lot of people had just some hate boner for E3 for some reason.
I think it might have been just the 90s gave it a bad rap.
I mean, I think it was like fucking Ubisoft gave it a bad rep. I don't need another Just Dance presentation. But no, I like watching E3 always has like a very special place in my heart. Like yeah, Juke the Ronin, like I'm with you. Like I used to watch it on G4. Nowadays or whenever it was coming around, like I used to stream it like the entire time. And it's just this really cool kind of culmination of multiple organizations coming together to put on like dedicated time to where you can expect, hey, these 3 days, I'm going to get a bunch of really cool shit.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to go. Like I always grew up. I wanted to go one time just before, this all happened. And now you really don't have that fusion between organizations anymore, right? After Nintendo started to stop showing up. And then straight up was just like, fuck it, I'm just not even going to go anymore. It kind of fucked everything over.
Yeah. I think one of the big things with it, and a lot of people have brought it up, is that it never really evolved. Because for a long time, it was still like an industry thing where there wasn't a badge for the public. Mm-hmm. And
by the time they added it, it was on the decline.
Yeah, by the time they added it, it's like, yeah, streaming services are good enough now. Like, everyone's got broadband internet now.
Yeah.
So we can all just stream our shit. Like, we don't have to pay this outrageous presentation fee at E3 to rent out the theater. We could just get Shigeru in a garage with some good lighting and have him talk to the camera and show off the new Mario game. Like, it's fine.
And I how do I describe it? I mean, I'm fine with that. E3 could have been straight directs, right? And that would have been cool with me still. It was just a matter of, it was sort of the mystique behind it. Like, hey, you know, you're getting Sony, you're getting Microsoft, you're getting not Ubisoft, you're getting Xbox so, oh my gosh, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, my bad, to just come over and say, hey, we've got these games coming out. And even, I'm kind of with you, right, where, Savage Mandy, where you had, you know, like a lot of the times they might reveal games that weren't coming out for like quite a few years, but it's still like nothing takes away from that moment something's announced, right? And like, it was just a matter of, because
shit, I'm still mad about Scalebound. Go on.
I mean, shoot. Outside of a couple of corporations, like mostly like NetherRealm Studios, they pull out one video game a year. How many times can they like show something from that? And I think just because people are putting a lot of more eggs in singular baskets, it's kind of hard to make to do like a SonyCon, E3, like all these other. Am I wrong?
I think it's a time where like they showcased because I'll put it this way. I think who consistently, like, you know, who would ever say they win? I think Xbox had never got it right, or they did sometimes. And when they would, you'd be like, people would try and take it away. But I'm always kind of like, hey, I come in neutral, see who does it well. I think Sony kind of got the announcements part correct, but they would also have instances where they'd have some dull years too. But I think where the important part comes from is nearing the end, a lot of organizations starting to get better about showcasing their third-party studio games or acquiring some third-party studio games of like, hey, it's going to release first on PlayStation, or we just want to showcase it on our PlayStation platform because that's where it's optimized, and Xbox platform because that's where it's optimized, and do a good highlight of games that way as well. Mm-hmm. And then even Nintendo, I think they're the ones who've gotten the direct format down the best, mainly because they're created it. But even then, like, they would have streaks where you'd be like, cool, you're expecting a Smash character. You'd come to E3 expecting quite a few different layers to it. And
I feel like Nintendo's had a couple of years where their marketing was like, their marketing and their toys are more prevalent than their systems. So they know how to put on a show.
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of like, you know, during the Wii U era, they were like, we're not trying to sell this shit. So
that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, but the other part about it is they don't need it. Like, and then when they get to Nintendo, it's fucking feast or famine, because in the Switch era, they don't need to sell their console. Like, they don't. So they can just showcase games and do a pretty good job there. But I think it just goes back to like, hey, I like that period where I was like, cool, I'm expecting these announcements here. I think the Game Awards does kind of service that a bit, but not the same as the
that's another one that I forgot.
Echelon of like, hey, this is just E3. Here's a bunch of things where they would just showcase a bunch of different games, and it didn't hurt nobody, so it wasn't bad, right? And they, I think that the other era is, my problem is I don't think the other organizations have nailed the streaming platform style. I don't like Sony's thing that they got going. They got no, like, sometimes they'll do a stream and you'll be like, there was nothing in this shit. Ain't a goddamn thing in this shit that I give a shit about.
Sony tries to sell too many things.
They're trying to do too much, not enough at the same time. And I'm like, Sony, the reason you won when you won...
They'll do one dedicated to like the PlayStation VR. It's like, I'm never gonna buy that.
Or it's an accompaniment.
It's just not in the cards for me right now. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Kind of die now that you think about it.
It's still there. It's still doing well. It's just like, as someone who has a VR console, like it's doing well. It's just not getting the same like budget that a lot of things were getting before. Except Capcom does a good job of making all the Resident Evil games VR for some reason. They're just like, fuck it, we want you to have it.
That's the only thing I could think of. That I was like, I've heard VR. I mean, Resident
Evil is awesome, but.
The Doom one was also pretty good.
Oh, really? I had never heard of that one. And then, other than that, the lightsaber game is all.
Beat Saber's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. You ever have like my Oculus is the Beat Saber machine, because admittedly, that's all you really need. It's a good game. You want to talk about a good game? Beat Saber's a good one. But And then Microsoft, so they did their kind of like, I want to say this year's, it wasn't great, but that's when they revealed Hi-Fi Rush, and so it makes it immediately awesome to me, because they shadow dropped it in that. But I think that until those organizations really nail their streaming kind of style, that's where I want to see it be a bit more fine-tuned. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather them come fucking just copy what Nintendo does. Does Nintendo nail every direct? Not necessarily, but do they have the format down pat? Hell yeah. And you know what to expect. You kind of know, like, I think Nintendo, where Microsoft, I think, got the talking aspects of the streaming style correct.
Good night, Rainy Raven.
I think that, how do I describe? I think that, Demon School, Iruma-kun. Watch the first couple episodes. Haven't gotten to the anime part. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
I'll describe it when we get to the anime parts. And I think Sony does like the sleek presentation part well, but they have like no words in the middle of the shit. Like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about half this game. So I think there's like a balancing act that they that each one's trying to figure out. But ultimately, sad that E3's gone. But I get why, right? Practicality wise, especially in the market as the way it is. But it's always a cool time to expect games to make announcements. And I know they're still going to do announcements during the summer, but now companies don't have like the push to do it nearly as much. Because you'd be like, you got to figure it out and come pretty banging because we want to see some shit.
There was also that aspect to it that kind of led to its downfall. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you just don't have shit to announce in June. Like,
and I wish that there would have been more chances where they were like, hey, we're bowing out, or we're boosting up some other like platform.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that is the challenge of a lot of these like type things, but I am just sad in general to see E3 go, just because it was definitely one of those like glass kid moments when you pass the store and you look through the glass, because I didn't have G4. But I would see clips on YouTube and I was like, that looks really dope. And then like there was the whole Kenny Omega and the Elite versus the New Day at Street Fighter, and I was like, it's created all these really fun moments. Just like I was hoping we would still get something like that in the future, but guess not.
One of the things that E3 did have going for it that I am going to miss, and that the streaming announcements won't be able to cover, is that when they're all at a physical location, you have opportunities for some of your favorite personalities to go there
and react
and experience it and show you like some things. Like, I was never a big fan of Spoonie or Angry Joe. I like watch some of his top 10s and stuff, but I was never like,
hey, shut up, he's in town.
I'm not saying
I said we like him on this show.
I do like him. I just didn't like follow him religiously like a lot of other people did back in the day. But whenever there was an E3 or a con that I knew that he was going to go to, him and Spoonie, I would do my best to like watch their content revolving around that, because like you said, it's that glass kid moment, like, oh, like I can't go there, but like I can live vicariously through Joe.
And that's how it really is. It's like getting to see someone, like that's where a lot of the video game personalities, fucking they even shine a lot, right? Because you'd want to see all your different personalities have opinions, and you can do it on the YouTube channels, but it's a lot harder to search. It's cool though. It is what it is.
I just clicked on this random thing about 20th best E3 moments. I forgot that the whole Keanu Reeves Cyberpunk was an E3 moment. They have the creator of Mario makes one of the game developers cry. Oh, from 1995? I didn't know what was going on this way. Sony kills the Sega Saturn with the PS1 price reveal.
Yeah. That shit they did that shit twice, because they did it with Sega and then they did it to Xbox. They're like, this is how you share games on PS4. Here you go. Thank you.
Don't know who Mr. Caffeine is. That one's new to me.
I forgot Xbox really fucked up with that. I'm an Xbox defender because I think, like, trust me, look at me in the eyes here. There's no better gaming service at the moment than Game Pass.
Then Game Pass for sure. Well, what about Steam? Just as a
Game Pass. Steam is not a gaming service. It's a gaming service. It's a gaming platform. You buy it. Game Pass is free. It's
you got to pay for
amazing.
Game Pass.
$15 a month. All the games you want. Game Pass. But Microsoft phoned a bag a couple times, but then they've kind of been sticking it to. Well, first of all, they're like, fine, Sony, fuck you. We're buying Activision Blizzard. That had to get literally corporately stopped in order because Sony started bitching.
Well, is that what they did? They stopped that one?
Not fully. It wasn't. I mean, Sony was the loudest voice in the room.
Oh man, if we can get sponsored by Game Pass, that'd be dope.
But also the EU kind of has
I'll do
a
shit
big
for less
problem with giant corporations, merging together.
I wonder why.
I don't know, something about consumer rights or some shit. Europe is weird. I'm glad we don't have those in America.
Yeah, fuck. I want my mega conglomerates. Get to this dystopian future shit faster, please.
Twilight Princess reveal in 2004 is number 2. I just want to see what the number 1 moment is.
I'm literally waiting for the Acme. It has to happen. like all the companies come together and it's just Acme.
Oh, it is what you said, JJ. The PS4 game sharing video annihilates Xbox One.
It really fucked the bag with that. Microsoft's still recovering from that one. But I think Microsoft has done a pretty good job. Right now, I'm actually, Sony has not been really doing much to warrant my love for Sony like it's supposed to. I don't really love anybody right now. Nintendo got their own problems. Figure it out. Microsoft, you do no harm at the moment. You ain't really pushing shit on me. Actually, no, you got Hi-Fi Rush Shadow dropped and you have Game Pass. Actually, to be honest, all first party releases coming out on Game Pass first, including Bethesda games, is a pretty strong thing that they got going. It's not that Sony doesn't have games coming out. Final Fantasy drops on Sony stuff first, usually, but it's more so they've just kind of been, I guess, quiet and just been like, hey, it's kind of lame duck recently for PS5. And what's weird is PS5's been out for a while and I still am like, all right.
Do I need it?
I have one and I'm like, all right, come on. Give me some more reasons to just have this thing.
Based on memes, it's just Hogwarts Legacy and God of War is the only 2 PlayStation games that I think people have had a lot of fun playing.
Hogwarts Legacy's on Xbox.
Well then,
Horizon's
on PlayStation 5.
Horizon's really good.
Oh, okay, I forgot about that one.
But then
Last of Us.
Which sucks on PC.
Right, so PlayStation's the best way to play.
Well,
fair enough, actually. But I don't need to play that game again. I need to play the re-release.
Speaking of re-releases and
the best game. No. I don't need to play the. Let me rephrase. I don't need to play the re-release unless it comes from
Resident Evil 4.
Capcom is the god of remakes. No other company does it nearly as well. Dead Space, your remake was awesome. Capcom's still the best.
Oh, that was the other video game topic. The 10-year anniversary of BioShock Infinite and people having feelings about that now. But anyway, let's go back. Stick to Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, because it killed Roger Ebert, right?
Yeah.
A game can be art.
Literally died on the hill. Look, actually, Marco, did you grow up playing RE?
I did. I've played it. I've actually played it on 3 systems without playing it on any of the new systems. I've played it on the PlayStation. I've played it on the Switch. No, GameCube. GameCube is where I played it the most.
I played it on GameCube too.
Yeah.
But how are you guys feeling about it? I've not got a chance to play the new game, but I've heard everyone's having fun. And there's a lot of difference between the people who are high or low about it. Like there's Salamander, the dog. People have mixed feelings about all this stuff. How do you guys feel about it?
You remember how Resident Evil 4 is one of the best games of all time, or considered?
Yep.
They made another one of the best games of all time. It's awesome. It's really good.
It's really good. I am digging it a lot. I find it really funny that a lot of the same arguments that people are having right now are the same arguments that people were having when the OG one dropped.
Literally.
Because I'm seeing a lot of like chatter online, and like my YouTube feed is like, did RE4 Remake make Resident Evil 2 actiony? I was like,
What?
I seem to remember having this argument back in like 2004 or 5.
This one's way scarier. They did look, they made, because you're getting to some of the shit when you get later in the game. Leon is somehow more serious and somehow more of a goofball at the same time, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, no. As with all gaming fandoms, as you mentioned, Savage Mandy. Look, don't harass voice actors. If you don't like a performance, you write it in your review. You say, hey, a lot of the times it's direction, and you keep it moving. That's it. Don't harass voice actors. Don't harass anybody, really.
They really were harassing voice actors again?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
This is a constant thing.
like, do I think, like, actually, I'll put it this way. One of my criticisms of the game did have to consist with Ada Wong's voice acting.
Yeah.
For some reason, like, everyone else is acting their ass off, and I'm like, the direction here was just a little weird. But you know what I said? I'm on a platform. I said that was one of my criticisms, and I still gave this game a 12 out of 10. Literally. I don't throw masterclass on anything, but it is. But stop. Just like, if you like, what do you gain from harassing somebody? It's not gonna change shit. Capcom's not gonna update the game just to suit your needs. Foolish dicks. Outside of that, games are fantastic. I think in terms of a gameplay loop, there is not a survival horror game that does their gameplay loop better on the market endpoint. It is really like it is the right balance of, you feel like you have a lot of ammo and somehow it's not enough. And that's really cool, because like, a lot of the other Resident Evil games, you don't really ever have a lot, but you can like make your way work with that. This one, I was like, dang, I have 50 shots on my pistol. And like in the castle section, middle of the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where I'd be like, I have a lot of ammo. Fuck. I know all this shit's gonna be drained somewhere.
Yeah. Resident Evil's always been really good about that, because I was playing through 2 right before 4 came out. And in 2, when you get to the lab, or like right before you get to the sewers, really, which is the second section of the game, you start off in the police station, and then you end up in the sewers somehow, and through zombie shenanigans. When I got to the sewers, I looted the fuck out of the police station. It's like, I don't feel like coming back except for just like the necessary shit. Like, I want that gun upgrade, and I think there's like some grenades later on that I can find. Whatever. So I looted the fuck out of it. I had so much ammo, so many herbs. I had like 3 cases of the big ass gunpowder, where if you mix them together, you get 50 bullets. I was halfway through the sewers, and I was like, how in the fuck is it all gone?
Yeah, that's how it works.
How the fuck did I waste all this ammo?
Like, literally, RE4 does that to, I think, even a higher extent, because what they maintained was, you have Leon's a one-man army in this bitch, and you're gonna feel like a one-man army by the time you get to the end of the game. When I say the weapon arsenal is so fantastic and the feedback of shooting is immaculate, not to mention they added a whole different dynamics to the knife mechanics in the game that make it way more cool, because you're able to just have a lot more options with how you can parry. You can use it, you can use it as defense. You could use it as a lot of different options here. Oh, and like, shoot, get to the Krauser fights and holla at me. Like, they've done so many things well with this remake that it's really, it's honestly incredible. And you can tell they put a lot of love into the game. Anything they cut out, they replaced it with something better and or more, something that makes more sense.
Yeah.
There's one boss fight in the entire game that was cut out. that I'm more than certain will be as part of Ada Wong's storyline, because I was like, it's just one of the ones that a lot of people didn't like, and I was thinking,
without playing the remake, I'm pretty sure which boss fight I know got cut out.
I mean, it comes out of nowhere. I'm just like, I'm with you. And they make one of the boss fights that is super lame, arguably one of the best in the game. And so a lot of cinematography, the graphics, the lighting, the sound design. They made Ashley just a character, just an actual character, like an actual person. There was so much love put into this game, and you can tell. And for me, I'm a survival horror junkie. Been on a survival horror kick this year, especially. And
coming out of COVID, yeah,
and it's just, I was like, I relived it in real life. I still need more. Now, Resident Evil 4 Remake is one of the best games that you can play. Just point blank, period. It is really, really, really good. And this is coming from someone who beat it on hardcore. And if you do end up playing the game, it will recommend, if you played RE4, to play it on hardcore. Yeah, try. No, I'm kidding. Hardcore is a blast. It is just kick you in your dick difficult sometimes. They will put you in clear scenarios where you're like, shit, all right, I don't have shit. I don't have, but yeah, you do. You gonna have to sell some shit, baby. Make it work. Figure it out.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I liked about this. So I made the joke before we started recording that I forgot a lot of shit about the game, and every once in a while someone would post some shit that pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, you can shoot the bell in New Game Plus, and one of the boss fights is trivial if you know what to do.
And it's some horse like, the RE devs are goofballs. You would never do this. You would never practically do some of the shit to kill that boss. There's a lot of shit like that in the game. You can skip a section if you have a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally skip a section because it's like, long story short, you're looking for explosives, and it's like, technically you have one. That answers the question. There's stuff like that.
I feel like they've been putting things like in that since Resident Evil 7, where it's just like, if you can get in the car, you've passed the level, or at least that boss fight.
Yeah, no, like, there's a lot of like, this is like to 11. Like, because RE8, taking notes from RE4, had some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Had some funny. No, this is 100% clownery. Just clown shit. But it's that good clown shit.
With me, there were like two things that I remembered from RE4, the original one, that I was like, okay, I may not remember a lot, but I do remember, use the knife and don't buy the broken butterfly, because you get a free broken butterfly later on.
Yeah.
So if you see it for sale at the merchant, skip that shit. You'll get it for free. I watched a YouTube video. Well, I found out about the knife firsthand. That shit breaks. So, so use the knife, but be aware it will break on you. The broken butterfly thing. I watched a video on YouTube that was like 10 things the game doesn't tell you.
Yeah. And
one of them was like, yeah, buy the broken butterfly. You know how you used to get it for free in the old game? You don't anymore. This game wants you to spend money. They actually made the merchant the merchant was already important in the old one.
This one is quintessential.
But here
that nigga's gonna run your pockets. He'll say, look, we don't take broke here. What you got? So you got them rubies on you. Yeah. You're like, but I want that shit. It's like,
I might find a mask that I can put these in.
It's like, no. He said, you want this item, huh? Oh, you think you're gonna have money by the time you? Okay, see, I'll see you at that next shop, huh? If you didn't sell your shit, you still ain't gonna have money. Like, trust me, you gonna want to put in some work here, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it. Really good game.
I mean, the merchant from RE4 is probably the most famous merchant voice in all of video games, I think.
This is in my top 5 quotes.
Oh, this is true.
And man, they came with this nigga. This nigga's putting it on thick. Come in, like, got that whiff of the battle on you, stranger. I'm like, nigga, it's like, what you sniffing me for? But no,
There's a reason gun rhymes with fun, stranger.
and they make him clearly a pirate in this. One. Like they don't like beforehand. You be like, what did he do? No, he's a pirate in this one. He's a pirate, 100%. Get to that gun range, you'll be like, no, that nigga's a pirate. Like,
I've been to that gun range.
Which also
it gets introduced.
Joy.
It gets introduced before Ashley. So when I got to that chapter where you can go to the gun range, I'm pretty sure that merchant was like pissed off at me and like, bro, don't you have other shit to do?
Nah, dog, because I was
just
like,
one more ding.
Because they start playing Spanish guitar in that bitch, and then like if you get to a bonus round, lights start going. You're like, oh yeah!
I heard Ashley levels are not annoying this anymore, for sure.
I mean, well, how do I put it? Well, it's not like Ashley levels. Ashley's in the game a lot. The Ashley part is better.
That's what I meant. Like,
but Ashley, like the whole Ashley mechanic is better in this one. I would argue.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, it's just different. Like it's still going it's still gonna get you aggravated because you're gonna be like, all right, Ashley, I don't have extra bullets to be dealing with your ass. There's one section that's real hard. But outside of that, yeah, no, like they improved a lot of the areas to deal with, and like the AI in general. Mm-hmm. There's not like, first of all, shout out to some of them old Hispanic ladies in that village. They got an arm on them. Yeah. Like niggas will throw shit at you just from downtown, and like it'll be at pinpoint accuracy. And the niggas with dynamite,
They'll be
they're
at half
a threat.
court and just like making that bucket.
Bro, you'll see old ladies just like tee up, be like, all right, post up. Post up. It's like, okay.
I'll hide in a house, like, they can't get me in here, and then how'd that dynamite go right through the window? I'm not even mad.
Yeah, and then you'll literally see the zombie in the back, like, look at you like after throwing that dynamite.
I trust the team.
Oh, no, wait. Luis is awesome in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, the additions and things that they did with him are fantastic. And so is Ashley. I once again, I think all the characters, with the exception of Ada, I've just gotten really revved up. I don't think Ada's terrible. I think the direction was just very hollow, which makes it very interesting. But yeah, you know. Like once I can sing this game's praises all day. It's one that I'm just like if you like, first of all, buy it at full price. It's one of those fucking rare games where I'm like, shit, they could have charged $80 for this, and the amount of content and time and effort and passion, it feels like a truly $60 experience. And not a lot of games have been like that recently, right? Where you're
not at all.
Like where you're like, I paid $60 for like some horse shit, and shoot, the game that I gave, the other game I gave, fucking.
I mean, we've been playing a lot of indie games here lately. That's what we've been talking about, and then just waiting for Street Fighter to drop. I don't even know what date that drops.
June 22nd.
Oh, got it down. I know what he'll be doing for his birthday.
Hell yeah. There's a Street Fighter tournament. So the games I had at the highest point of my list, this is in order actually. Games I had at the highest point of my list is still Hi-Fi Rush, which is a $30 game, free on Game Pass. And it has more content in it than most fucking full price games. Chained Echoes, which is on Game Pass. June 2nd, thank you. Chained Echoes, which is another game that was on Game Pass.
Is that an RPG?
RPG, yes. Yeah. Very, very good.
I heard about that.
Vampire Survivors, that's $4 on Steam. Play Vampire Survivors if you haven't. It is... Look, don't watch videos. It's not going to help you. You'll be like, why would anyone play this? Play it and it'll make sense. One of the funnest games you can play.
I want to pet the fox.
Dead Space. Dead Space is another game. That's $60. I feel like that was worth it for the most part. But even then, content-wise, in comparison, RE4 fucking blows it out of the water. And then I played a couple other games, all of which that don't have nearly as much content for the same price tag. See, look, and your husband's smart. There's relationship shoot. My girl didn't see me for weeks. I started playing Vampire Survivors. I started I dipped my toes and I said, man, let me play this dumb shit. 3 hours later, I said, where was I? I don't know where I am. It's really good.
And then last quick, and then after this, it's all anime from here. But this is kind of anime related, definitely comic book related, and all in all, the Millennial Bible. Scott Pilgrim is getting an anime by Netflix with all the original voice actors coming back from the movie.
Brian Lee O'Malley is co-writing.
Oh shit! Really? Mm-hmm. I mean, really, if you just follow the comic book, don't need to do much. The movie actually does try. Like the first 2 fights are scene for scene, and then after that, there was just kind of like, well, we got to fit 5 people into this movie somehow.
Yeah, it was that, and he hadn't written the end yet. Edgar Wright literally caught up to the manga.
Well, when they were writing,
His own ending.
when the guy was writing the script, he actually had it where he ends up with Wong and not the Ramona. So
I just
which I guess would be bad. He would still be dating a high schooler. But
I would say oh my gosh, genuinely. I've watched Scott Pilgrim since that first magical time I watched it, and then I kept it in my head that way. I've just kind of left it there. Still I've seen clips. Still funny. Still all that kind of stuff. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they do.
Heavy recommend reading the comic book. It has a lot more depth. Because the movie is very quirky and fun.
But I bet it cuts there's a lot of characters, and I know they have to make cuts to make it work.
They also cut whole storylines out of of their growth.
So I hope they just take their time. It's kind of like what is it? HBO announced HBO had announced that Harry Potter each season is going to be a book type of thing, and I was like, that's the best thing you could because I'm like, fucking leave Harry Potter alone. First of all, man, it's like Universal looks at Twitter, said, we don't give a fuck. I'm not laughing at that. I'm just like, damn, Universal, y'all really don't give a fuck. Really, they don't. But I'm like, well, these series, I'm like, the movies are the textbook example of book to movie adaptation, but there's a lot of room to take their time.
Yeah.
Fucking Persona 5 said it best. Take your time. So in the Scott Pilgrim anime, I think they really just need to take their time.
I mean, Netflix has actually done a really good job with their animation because it's been sneaking in the back of my mind where they blow me away and then I forget it because there's not a lot of follow through. There's no Arcane season 2. I don't think there will ever be a Cyberpunk season 2. Cyberpunk also winning best anime of last year
From Crunchyroll, yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised. It was really good though.
It was.
Was it the best? We'll talk about it. But it was really good. It was really, really good. Top 5 for sure. Confident.
I'm not even confident of that.
Top 10.
Here-
You gotta talk to me on a good day. It's Trigger. They're cheating.
Triggers hacks. That's using performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah, it's literally like Trigger gonna be like, put a little touch on it. Like that's the only reason that's not fair.
I will say on the note of Savage Mandy saying don't fall in love with Netflix shows. Netflix bought one of my shows, which is Cobra Kai. That's the only reason I have YouTube Red, whatever it was called years ago. And I am lucky enough that I'm seeing the ending of Umbrella Academy because I literally thought for 2 seasons and I'm like, they're just going to let it end like this.
Well, I mean, Netflix is weird. I would say even put an asterisk to that. Don't trust Netflix animated shows because they will cut that shit in a heartbeat. But we'll see how it goes. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is something that has enough cult following that I think that even, who am I kidding? Netflix doesn't give a fuck.
Is Arcane getting a season 2?
Hell yeah. Look. There's Netflix, and then there's League of Legends. Let's not try that. League of Legends, Riot money, Riot Games money, that's different. Netflix, shut the fuck up. Because you want to know what happened? League of Legends would have been like, shit, we'll take Arcane somewhere else, and then I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Two things on the Scott Pilgrim thing. One, if you guys haven't watched Scott Pilgrim versus the animation, it was like a 2-minute short that Adult Swim did to promote the movie. I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. It's awesome. I recommend it.
Yeah.
And I think it came bundled in if you bought the Blu-ray. Like, it was one of the bonus features. 2, Netflix, don't fuck up the distribution for this. You managed to kill JoJo somehow. A feat that I thought was nigh impossible.
They tried to. I think it managed to curve itself out with the last 2 parts, but because they were so close. But y'all tried to. Don't fuck up with the distribution. Weekly. Consistent.
What?
Don't take breaks.
I don't understand why Netflix even gets to do anime. Like, they have Record of Ragnarok. I guess they have the Vinland Saga dub, because I can't even get the dub on Crunchyroll.
Well, I mean,
Finland.
it's not just Netflix. Disney Plus fucks it up too.
Vinland, we'll get to that. Vinland Saga is actually Amazon, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
It premieres on Prime first. That's why, like, I didn't realize it was on season 2 already until like yesterday, because technically season 2's been out since like December, but it was on Prime, where no one cares. Like, if it's not The Boys, does anyone give a fuck about Prime?
I will vocalize that Amazon's got some good shit on there. Amazon's a sleeper pick. It's got some good shit on there. Invincible's on there too.
I'm a big fan of Vox Machina now.
Vox Machina's awesome. Watch Vox Machina.
Like, I'm a little hesitant on seeing the D&D movie because it's like, I got Vox Machina at home.
And
the D&D movie's really good.
I am going to watch it.
Yeah, but I got Vox Machina at home.
But it doesn't have Michelle Rodriguez.
But Vox Machina.
Touché, bitch.
The Expanse was great. Haven't seen it.
The Expanse is really good.
Kenshi is on Prime?
Kenichi.
Oh, Kenichi. Okay. But yeah.
Dororo is on Prime.
Ooh, Dororo's good.
Dororo is really good. We haven't shined Dororo enough, I don't feel.
You don't know what you're getting into with Dororo, but it's really good. It starts off depressing and ends off depressing, but it's good.
Well, now we're getting to the segment where we are officially in the anime part of the Animexcellence. Kind of 3 animes are premiering at the start of April. We have we're going to talk about 2 of them because the other one does not premiere till Friday, unfortunately. But we're going to start with Hell's Paradise because everyone was hyped about it. And I kind of forgot this was dropping, and then TJ was like, we have to talk about it. And man, that first episode is really... I've never had a backstory feel so fulfilling.
That's because I told you it's surprisingly wholesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very wholesome driver for a fucked up... For what you're about to see is a very fucked up situation. But it's like it just comes down to, spoiler alert, Hell's Paradise is really just a story about a man who really loves his wife.
Yep.
That is the...
Told in the manliest way possible.
And you're going to see what he has to go through, but he loves his wife.
It's like, feelings, what are those? Fuck them.
I mean, well, this
I don't care if I die. And then they're like, well, we'll kill you. Wait, I love my wife.
But I love my wife.
I mean, there's also... He literally is... It's funny because it deals with facade versus reality in a way where he's like, oh, I'm the hollow. There's nothing in here and I don't feel anything. And it's like, I don't know about that.
You know,
right, just like every man.
I want you to keep that statement.
Yeah.
You know nothing about Hell's Paradise, right?
No.
Keep it that way. I want you to keep that statement. When you go on, you're going to see there's even greater themes of that.
I'm excited about it.
But yeah, no. I was gushing about this. Also, that opening was good.
It was.
You mean the credit opening kind of thing? Because I was like, there was a couple of things where I was like, it reminded me of Demon Slayer in the sense that I was like, colors, you're using all of them again.
But even then, like, it was like that. This one's way more trippy.
It's
way more trippy than anything Demon Slayer's going
I watched it this morning, like as I was drinking my coffee, and I took a couple of sips, and then that intro hit, and I was like, "What the fuck did I put in this coffee?" It was really good coffee.
Ooh, wait.
Serenity Q2. Is that what you're reading?
I have no idea what that sentence is.
Kind of meh. I don't see me sticking with it. Very anime. The only interesting carrot is the wannabe Shan girl.
What does that mean to be very anime? It's an anime. That's what it is.
I guess she means very shonen-y.
It's not shonen at all. It's far from it.
I mean, it starts off very shonen-y.
A guy is holding a sword for sure.
Yeah, like a woman's holding a sword.
There is a fight.
Yeah, you're gonna. I would just say, it's not one that you judge off the first episode. I mean, I know the premise sets it up very well, but no, like it has stakes. It's a very good one. It's one of the rare ones that has a great conclusion. Manga's over. They're not going to stretch any. Hopefully, it's Mappa. I don't know, but fucking, we have the final season of the final season, the final AOT, right? So, which I think Demon Slayer's going to get the same shit, if I'm being real. But no, it is one of the few things that I like, few anime manga that I'm like, that is a great ending.
But Demon Slayer kind of warrants it in a way where I've heard how long the last fight is. And everything about AOT is like, oh yeah, no, you can read it. It's like 20 pages.
It's V for Vendetta again. Where it's like, all right, so the movie's all about him blowing up Parliament. Read the comic, page 2. Oh, Parliament's gone.
I'm actually very curious about if you'll feel that. I don't like, because I don't think Demon Slayer's. I'm not Demon Slayer. I don't think Hell's Paradise is that tropey at all. Actually, besides. Maybe the fact he's a ninja. It's like they set up a couple things like in the gap, but it kind of, I don't want to spoil anything. I know what happens, so like I know kind of what the direction it takes is. I would say that if tropes are your thing, it's not that type of series. It doesn't fall into the mold. It sets it up. They go into a place. When they go to the place, you'll see the molds they don't follow, and that's really cool. Because it's a very big, like, what I respect about it, there's consequences. There's a lot of consequences. There's actual stakes that make it go very well. But I think that make it have a lot of weight to it.
I will say that Mappa is doing really great things. Soft spoiler, this happens in the first episode. It looks completely different in anime form.
Looks a lot prettier. But when you start to, so they allude to it, right? The whole premise is essentially there's this place where there's this elixir of life, which is already, yeah. And essentially every time people go there, they either don't come back at all, or the one example they show is that they've come back and basically they're dismembered and turned into plants.
Yeah.
You start to see the repercussions of what that place is like and all the horrific stuff that's associated with that place alongside
when no place that has the elixir of life, no matter what mythology you choose, is just like, I'm just gonna stroll and get it.
Yeah, it's not like that. But you do have this whole thing where I think one of the themes that it's going to tackle that it's not. I don't want to spoil too much on is you start to realize the weight of trust, the weight of standings, like classes, like there's a lot of different things that it starts to juggle when it gets to the. And then one of the central themes, when it gets really interesting, actually does happen with Gabimaru, and you start to see some of those aspects when they fall into play, all in this place that has like super beautiful. Especially when you get there and you see it, it's super beautiful visualization, super beautiful like visuals, and I mean the intro kind of alludes to it. But then you start to see the different dynamics of like some of the people, and you're like, wow, like this is what it's building up to. And when it and Galmar, when he starts off, it's very simple of like hey, they're going to go, and now when the episode ends and he's like, cool, we're going to this one place because we have to, but I'm ready to go to the island. Man, when I say that, like, I think this first episode, first of all, is beautiful. Animation's great, music's great, sound design's really good. I also like how it's almost it's very colorful, but almost a muted tone, if that makes sense. Almost pastel-ish.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there's almost a pastel colorization to it, which is really cool. But if you're down with this first episode, you'll definitely be down with the rest of the season of what they got going on. And I'd even argue that, like, if I didn't personally see the tropes you're seeing, but if tropes are your thing, this is not one that falls into that in particular.
I mean, the first episode of every anime that I've ever seen is just like, here's us setting up the backstory kind of thing. But I thought this did it in the least tropey way, because they never didn't have a moment where he just sits there and then thinks about what happened in the past. Like, they were reading out his crimes and telling stories about him when he's off camera. I was like, well, that's pretty cool that they did it that way.
I also like how he was just like, I also don't think I've ever seen a show where it's just like, yeah, no, this is like, because anime, especially where it gets super horny, like anime was always really good. It's not that type of show. Like, yeah. It's very much like he's like, no, his love interest is established, and he's just trying to get to his lifestyle. And what the trials and tribulations he goes through, that's what you see in that Hell's Paradise. But it's also really cool because you'll understand, like, it sounds like I've described it a lot like Hell, right? But you'll understand the paradise part of it too, because paradise extends to a lot of different allegory. It's like if you read the manga, it's actually really good with allegory. Like, I think writing wise, there's a couple of, like, not misses, but there's a couple of things. But like, I think, like, in terms of like a shonen, or not a shonen, mangaka that can be authors, like, there's a lot of things that he does, and I'm like, wow, that's like just an author writing book. That's really cool.
I mean, well, one of the reasons why I thought it was called Hell's Paradise is it's just really fucking pretty. Like, I thought it was kind of this is more of a sci-fi trope and like Lovecraft type stuff where it's like, oh, purple, like everything's really pretty, but everything is like slowly fucking killing you and messing with your brain. So I was like, I think that's what I expect right now, but I'll see what happens in the next episode.
Sorry, I was kind of giving on a spiel. JJ, did you fuck with it?
Yeah, I dug this a lot. This is one of the few anime that I think just got me on episode 1. Like, with most shows and with most anime, there's like a standing 3-episode rule, like, where it's like, all right, the first one might be a little slow because, like Mark said, they have to kind of establish the world, the backstory, who you're following, what he's about, why he's going on this journey, or why she's going on this journey, blah, blah, blah. This one was like, managed to do like all 3 at the same time, which, how you were mentioning, like, they explain like his backstory by like reading through his crimes or telling stories about the shit that he did while he's off camera. That accomplishes the setting up our character and world building at the same time. In this place, he is a man to be feared because he did this shit and no one can stop him. And then when you get to the crux of the episode, the final moments where it's like, there's more to this world. Like, we've established that you're something to be feared, but we know something scarier.
Damn, are you a poet? No, it's one of those things where I think that, and if you're worried about the characters, then Gavamara comes off very OP in this episode.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. So don't worry about that.
Verse balancing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Universe coming to equalize some shit. But I think when you start to see some of the other characters, because, really, I think they do a great job of establishing kind of the temperament of, because you can actually see that the Ashiman, what is it? I think it's Sakagiri. I always forget her name, but you can see that like she seems very muted in her presentation, right? And like how she feels, but she's actually like, hey, like I can tell there's something off with you. I could kill you. I can if I wanted to, but let me like the reason I've been evaluating this is because of like I believe that you can follow suit with this. And you kind of see their relationship develop for like what I consider one of the really like genuinely coolest just platonic relationships you'll see in a series. It's not like this is not a spoiler.
Mm-hmm. They already said that he loves someone.
Well, he loves his wife.
Yeah.
It's not going in but they're obviously going to be talking more. Like that's a really cool platonic like relationship, and you're like that's just like some legit friendship type things that develop off of people who shouldn't be friends. I mean, they were friends for a while though, so you're good. But if we want to talk about, but Hell's Paradise, highly recommended. I think it comes out very beautiful. This season is coming out strong. But if I'm being real, the one that caught me off guard is this next one. I was not prepared for it.
From hell, we go to heaven.
Not really. just a slightly less modern. Well,
it is kind of funny that hell looks prettier than heaven at the very least, because the next anime we're talking about is Heavenly Delusion, which is gonna give you Last Man on Earth type vibes.
Gosh, hold up. Let me block out here. They just said he's a really good ninja, like he's he was like one of the best of his village. There's other ninjas. They're just all kind of like that. Like really, you'll see it. I don't know what. Maybe you just don't like anime because it's like he got a goal, and it's like it's
yeah, because that's very like general Serenity. Like you could say that about like almost any story. Yeah. Here's Luke Skywalker. He needs to take down the Empire.
I was about to say at some point that's just action in general.
Like, but yeah, like if you're not jiving with it yet, I totally get it. Like it's
just like that's a tricky one because I'm like that's just like a task type of situation.
I mean,
like it's like a goal. I can get where you're coming from like a
right. Yeah.
He's like the best of what they're doing. But
yeah, I do have a friend that hates whiny protagonists, and that's why they don't watch anime. And I get it. Deku's whiny. Everyone, well, not everyone, but the main character in Demon Slayer kind of whiny.
Luffy's not whiny.
Luffy is not whiny. Goku isn't whiny, but still, like I understand the trope of it. So I actually was like, here's Chainsaw Man, never complains at all.
Complains about not touching titties.
But Serenity does seem to be on board with Heavenly Delusion, which was the first thing that I asked, because this was another anime that TJ was like, we have to talk about this, and I was like, where the fuck do I find it? It's on Hulu, folks.
Right, yeah. So
Disney Plus sucks. Sucks ass.
So I went through the same little adventure you did. Because, like I mentioned, I watched Hell's Paradise in the morning. There was a lull in my...
Hell's Paradise gets points just for being on Crunchyroll. Any anime that's on Crunchyroll gets points.
For being there when it said it was going to be
when
there.
It says it drops. Guess what? It dropped.
Dude, I am so mad. Crunchyroll bought Funimation, and there's still anime I can't find in that Crunchyroll app.
Well, so... let me take you on this little adventure I went through, because there was a lull in my work schedule. So I was like, okay, I can squeeze in both of these shows like right now, and then I can play Resident Evil 4 the rest of the night. I watched Hell's Paradise, easy, no problem. It had already dropped for like a week or something, and it was on Crunchyroll. Watched it, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to Heaven's Disillusion. I'm not seeing it on Crunchyroll. We have problems. Okay, let me...
Yeah. Problem number one.
Problem number one, not on Crunchyroll. So...
To set up your next stage here, I have mostly every streaming service. I watched this on a website where I was Xing out of anime titties. and live chat things with titties. Like that's how back at I had to go to fucking high school anime watching me. I had to go to I was like, all right, go anime. Like literally.
You had to dust off that notebook like
Yeah, put on my pirate hat like Luffy, nigga. Like
Kaisen cool.
yeah, dude, like I was finding the One Piece. Find this shit. And then I got fucking to the end of it. I was like, all right, look. Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. Fucking it's on Hulu now. And you know what the worst part is? Fuck you. It's not even in it. You can't even type in Heavenly Delusion. You gotta type in Japanese name.
So
Continue.
This is something you might not have been aware of. After I couldn't find it on Crunchyroll, I was like, well, okay, I'm just gonna Google this. Like, where in the fuck do I watch it? And Google did tell me, like, yeah, you're gonna have to look for it by its Japanese name, Tengoku Damyako.
Yeah.
I might have gotten the last word wrong. So I was like, okay, let me search for that on Crunchyroll. No, still not there. All right, let me open the second link on Google. Oh, Hulu. Cool. Go to Hulu. It was like 11:30 when I was looking for it. Nothing. Huh. So I keep reading and I see that there's people like arguing about it. There's a fucking tweet to Hulu support asking like, hey, we heard that you guys got this and it was supposed to drop today, but it's not there. And Hulu support responded saying, oh yeah, we don't have that. But if you want to see what's upcoming, here's a link. So I click the link and I'm like, nah, he's wrong. They're wrong. Whoever the fuck, it's not there. How the fuck am I gonna? And I too was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna put on my pirate hat right after I log off of this work computer.
Let me dust off this extra straw hat I got, JJ.
Turns out, yes, Hulu customer support was wrong. Someone reached out to the head of Disney, like licensing and acquisitions for anime.
The only person who gives a fuck.
And it was like, yeah, they're wrong. We have it. There was just a delay in like getting it to us for some reason.
And that shit was almost in the vault. This just to mind you, after complaining, so almost that shit got out of the vault. But yeah, sorry.
And he was like, we should have it uploaded this week, hopefully today. And then I look at the date of the tweet, yesterday. Or tomorrow. Oh, you better fucking hope. And yeah, so I was like, I'll wait until like, I guess the end of my workday or until I find another lull in my schedule to watch it. Because I can tell you this much, at around 11:30, it was still not up on Hulu.
Yeah.
I just went to ass and titties. Like, I was like, I put on my knight armor. Like them websites where ad block's like, nigga, we can't even help you. I'm sorry. Ad block says there's only so much we can do. We're I'm holding it back. Try your best. Like it's like that's how it feels like, man.
It's that Itachi meme where it's like, oh no, that's not the X I have to click. It's this one.
Yeah, it's literally
Genjutsu of that level doesn't work on me anymore.
Fucking where have you even decide to move your? Because that said,
was really good, worth it.
really good. You know what? It was.
This was kind of done the opposite thing of the last one. No story, just like
this one was all world building, right? So this one is gonna need the 3-episode rule for me.
I mean, I will say, I love Hell's Paradise presentation. I think it's beautiful. This one is equally, camera work wise, I think better, but equally just as gorgeous. And the fluidity of the scene.
That fight was super fluid.
I was like, wow, they're coming out the gate swinging. I think this one just flew under the radar.
I mean,
it's stacked between like because let's be real. Here.
Hulu didn't help.
Hulu didn't help, and Demon Slayer's coming out.
Like they put all their eggs in the Demon Slayer basket,
which is not a basket I'd recommend investing in this season, but it's really it was surprising because there's a lot of times where I get blown back from an anime that I just like, kind of stumble on or was recommended by side. But I was genuinely like, no, this is really cool. And it's one of the first. Oh, and this anime instantly hit top 5 of all time. Kidding. But like it hit like really high on my list because it says incest is bad. It's the first anime where someone just finally speaks up and says, no, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Like, no, bad incest. Bad. Literally, like, there's a character in who is like, hey, it's not my rule. It's not
kind of just nature.
It's kind of just kind of shouldn't do it. It's genetically irresponsible. I'm like, oh, finally, someone speaks up in these anime. Better than Chainsaw.
Really use this old lady in the other ones that they were advertising to me.
We should probably let this one cook.
Yeah, I want to let it cook. Like, and if you're talking about like camera work wise, it's just different. Like Chainsaw Man is the reason why Chainsaw Man is what it is because they purposely did the visualization to try and be akin to American movies.
Yeah.
Like this one's not trying to do that. It has some, but it has very, very good camera. It's just different. I think
this is Children of Men vibes for sure.
Marco, what did you think about it, man?
So it's very good in the fact that it just drops you in this world and you're seeing two different contrasting environments. It has done something that I haven't seen in a while where it's just because there's no explanation really of what's going on. They're just like, it's post-apocalyptic. You've heard a couple of people have starved to death, or most people have starved to death is what they say. But they don't tell you what's going on, if there was a plague or what. So it has 2 moments in the first episode that I was like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah. They're like, plot. It's like, but why? But what?
Yeah, I did. It's a very interesting watch. I highly recommend it, and I'm going to be sticking with this one for sure.
Yeah, I think that one interesting thing was like, there's obviously some like, it's not completely where it's just the wild west of things and everyone's like, because there obviously seems to be like, it establishes that there's some system of like, barter and trading and commerce because, they get to a place and they actually pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still using money. That kind of surprised me.
And there's power, there's like so there's things around, but then there's things that aren't as down to earth. And 2 instances where you're like, hey, yo, got this kid throwing fists. What you going? Oh. Well, that would make me back off too. And then another part where you get to the end and you're like, whoa, that make me... They got a lady with a shotgun looking extra hard for no reason. It's just fucking album cover, like looks up. No, I think this was a really good surprise, like really great surprise. And I think that it's captivating. Definitely another. I think there was a lot coming out this season that I think will be great. But I'm always happy to see one that wasn't even on my radar kind of blow itself up to the top of what I should be watching this season. That's not even to include, we got Demon Slayer coming out, we have Mashal coming out, we have quite a few different other options that are going to be coming out. So
yeah, Mashal is the one I'm looking forward to.
I think that this season will be really, really strong. And hopefully Mappa lets those people out of the chamber so that way they can get some food and water.
I'm not a Dr. Stone fan, but apparently that's dropping tomorrow.
I didn't
out
watch
today?
season 2. So
it's out today?
Oh, right, no.
I will
Dr.
binge
Stone's
the
coming out
fuck
this
at
week.
Season 2.
It says April 6th is when Dr. Stone New World comes out.
But Japan time, so... Oh, wait, you're right. Never mind. April 6th. You're right.
Tonegaku Kawaii. Don't see that one.
Oh, Oshinokoi comes out next week, and that'll be a good one.
It's
Yeah, you want to watch a wholesome show? Watch that.
It's like my anime plate just emptied because Blue Lock and everything else was over, and now it's just like, all right, time to stack back up.
Wait, look. I was eating real good during Blue Lock season. I wasn't prepared to watch it. Like, I mean, I think I was ready for like a new cycle. And so really excited because I feel like there's a lot of shows that I'm going to be.
I was like, damn. I've never been this close to the end of One Piece. Never been this close to running out of One Piece. Like, I always have One Piece off to the side. Like, all right, like I might not have a new main course to try, but I always got my side of One Piece.
You mean what I'm talking about, Oshinokoi? Oh, it's 100% wholesome. Just watch it. It's a feel-good show. Feel good.
Osho no Akoi, My Star, an unexpected turn of events.
It's a good one to watch. It's not even a show that's typically in my demo. I'll put it that way. Like, normally I look at a show like this, I'd be like, not up for me. But
Reminds me, I don't know, 16-year-olds making music reminds me of Beck again. And I love Beck. No? Is there magic? There has to be magic, huh?
Friendship is magic.
there's no magic in it. Good kind of course. I mean, it's anime magic. Or if you're really bored, watch Eminence in the Shadows. Treat yourself like a king. But no, there's a lot of good shows coming out. So I'm excited to see how this season really plays out. And I'm hoping people don't just get caught up on Demon Slayer because look, I love Demon Slayer. It's just pretty. It's just pretty.
I do have Maggie from the podcast, from friend of the podcast is mad. It's just like, the plot isn't that great. You just love it because it's pretty. And I'm like, but it's super pretty.
And it looks really good. And guess what? You're going to get to that first episode and it's going to look really, really good. But, like, there's better shit out there.
I was about to say,
story-wise.
On the note of pretty, it's getting okay reviews. Not as good as the last two. Suzume comes out next week. I'll definitely be watching that, even though, like, I got something uncomfortably spoiled for me by the previews. The dude turning into a chair, I'm like, all right, this is lame compared to the other two cruxes of plot.
You don't love the fact she fell in love with the dude who's a chair? Come on, it's Japan. If you weren't ready for this roller coaster, I don't know what the fuck you were on for.
Hey man, compared to the last two, I was just like, that just wasn't it.
I want to watch the Truck-kun one.
No, you see, my problem was, man, I was cool until I saw that chair start running, and I said, like, you can't make this not look dumb. Like, it's not even like a manly chair. It's like a.
It's a chair for toddlers.
Like, it's a chair for toddlers. I'm like, nigga, if I turn into a chair, break me. You know what show I can't watch? And I've just been reaffirmed I can't watch. I still can't do Made in Abyss.
I watched the first episode. I think I might be with you on that one.
Made in Abyss is too cute for what it's trying to do. And too depressing for what I'm trying to be watching.
There's an episode that's literally an episode of Bewitched. Who needs anime when you got 60 sitcoms?
Not wrong. Now, Marcus, have you ever heard of Made in Abyss?
No, I'm looking it up right now.
Nope, don't.
Oh fuck, I fucked it up.
I don't like to see it. No, it's not. It's not your fault. It's me that there's some shit in there that I just don't need to see. Man, and the first look.
The premise is interesting.
The premise is very interesting.
I think I've seen this talked about on TikTok. Is like, hey, this is one of the darkest animes. And
It is.
It is. Like, there's basically humans just they don't give this anime don't give a fuck about humans.
Yeah.
You want to see motherfuckers get turned into some grotesque shit? I went on the wiki the other day and I was just like, you know when you just like I was like, oh, I should get off here. And I just kept reading. So I know what happens. I know all the spoilers right now. But I can't watch that shit. Can't let that shit leave my mind. but also the imagery I saw was nightmarish.
I forgot what the word is for this one, because they're taking like
and it's filled with body horror.
Yeah, they're taking like a chibi friendly style and then making it uncomfortable. And then there's a word for this in media because like we did it first kind of with puppets, like Muppets, making Muppets evil and stuff like that.
Don't touch me, I'm scared.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking of. And that was the visual review of it that I saw.
Nah, look, okay. If you're down for Made in the Abyss, I'll spoil this much. In the first season ends with the story of you seeing this little creature thing that follows around. Not the point. Basically, this human little girl got turned into a molgus a lump of flesh that can regenerate and is tortured for like most of a season. And I consider that one of the lighter things that happens. Like, literally, like you watch, like during that transformation, that little girl is screaming, "Please kill me," the entire time, and this character's just watching in horror. Burnt into my mind. So now you go watch that clip, get it burned in yours.
No, we burn into your mind. This is why Sam doesn't do this show. Well, there's a lot of reasons why he doesn't. But, hey, guys, if you got any more recommendations, if not, we're going to head out here in 2 minutes. So that's how much time we got. I have nightmares now because of her. Rakeen was saying it actually made his girlfriend cry.
Not surprised.
From horror. It's just sad. It's sad and bleak. And, like, it just gets worse. I was reading this, I was like, Jesus Christ. It just gets worse. And death, don't love anything. Don't love anybody. Because so basically, one big part about it, Marcos, is like as you go deeper into, because basically you have these explorers who are exploring the abyss, right? Mm-hmm. And as you go deeper, you get curses, and there's no avoiding the shit. You're just gonna get cursed, and by the time you hit the 6th layer, you lose your humanity. And some people turn out positives. Some people have horrific negatives.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's the horrific negatives. There's ways that
also you can't go back. I mean,
what?
You can climb out if you want, but there's like a gas or something. If you pass through it going up, it just makes you crazy. So like, it's not worth it to go back up. What you have to commit all the way to this ride.
Well, on Thursday, we'll be talking about more cheerful things. We'll be talking about the Mario movie, D&D maybe, and not all the way cheerful. We might be talking about Swarm. Just depends on how much time we got. But thank you for joining us here on Tuesday. Come and then join us on Thursday. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Oops, wrong way.